Welcome to Silent Screams, where we explore the darkest corners of fear and the unexplained. Tonight, we take you to a place known for its gleaming skyscrapers, bustling streets, and vibrant nightlife, Tokyo, Japan. But what if behind the neon lights, in the quietest corners of the city, something far darker lurks? Are you ready to hear the terrifying true story from Tokyo that will keep you up at night? It was past midnight, the streets of Tokyo unusually quiet. You'd arrived in Japan just a few days ago, soaking in the beauty of the city. From the bright lights of Shibuya to the peaceful gardens near Asakusa, everything seemed perfect. But tonight, the city feels different. The usual hustle and bustle that fills the air has gone silent, replaced by an unsettling stillness. You're walking down one of the back streets near the Shinjuku area. It's an odd time for sightseeing, but you had to get away from the crowd, wanting some space to breathe after a busy day. The city seems to breathe alongside you, at least it did at first. But now, every step you take seems to echo more loudly than the last, making you feel like someone, or something, is listening. You glance over your shoulder, half expecting someone to be walking behind you, but the alley is empty. It's so quiet, so eerily still, that you can hear your own heartbeat. You tell yourself it's just the city at night, that nothing strange is happening. But then the hair on the back of your neck stands up. Suddenly, you hear it, a sound, barely audible at first, like the faintest whisper. It comes from the alley just ahead. You stop in your tracks, your eyes narrowing. You don't know why, but the whispering makes your pulse quicken. You take a few cautious steps forward, peering into the alley. It's dark, but there's enough light from the street lamps to see. At first, it looks normal, just an empty passageway between buildings. But then you see something that doesn't fit. A shadow. It's moving, but it's not quite like anything you've ever seen before. The figure, tall and distorted, seems to sway in an unnatural way. At first, you think it's a trick of the light, but as you blink, the shadow doesn't disappear. It seems to grow, stretching in the narrow alley, and then it shifts. You freeze. It's the way it moves, the way it flickers, that makes your stomach churn. It's like watching something out of the corner of your eye, something that shouldn't be there. But it's right there, right in front of you. Your heart races, and the blood in your veins runs cold. The whispers start again, louder this time, more urgent. You can't understand the words, but they send a cold shiver down your spine. The figure grows larger, now looming in front of you. You try to move, but your legs feel frozen, heavy. Your body won't obey. You tell yourself it's just a trick of your mind, but deep down, you know something is wrong. Suddenly, the shadow shifts again. This time, it's not a figure anymore. It's a face. The face, pale and ghostly, appears out of nowhere, its eyes hollow and empty, staring right at you. The eyes are so dark that they seem to absorb the light around them. Your breath catches in your throat, and you feel your body go rigid with fear. It's so close now. The figure, or whatever it is, steps toward you, its movements slow, deliberate. It's like it knows your fear, and it's savoring it. The whispers grow louder, but now they're not just whispers. They're words, clear words, carried on the wind. You should not be here. The voice, soft yet commanding, feels like it's echoing inside your mind. You try to scream, but no sound comes out. Your mouth is dry. Your heart pounds so loudly you think it might burst. You try to take a step back, but your legs betray you, and you fall to the ground, the cold pavement hitting your hands. You scramble to stand, but you don't have time. The figure is closer, its shadow casting long, thin fingers toward you. Its eyes are fixed on you now, unblinking, unfeeling. You can't tear your gaze away. Leave. Now, it says again, its voice growing stronger, more commanding. The pressure in your chest builds. You can't breathe. Your vision blurs. And then, it speaks again. This time, the voice is much closer, like it's right beside your ear. You cannot leave. It's a whisper, but somehow, you hear it as clearly as if the words were being screamed in your face. Your body is frozen, your mind too numb to react, to even understand what's happening. You close your eyes, but when you open them again, the figure is gone. The alley is empty. The whispers have stopped. You stand up, trembling, unsure whether you should run, stay, or simply collapse right where you are. You can't explain it. Was it real? Or was it all a hallucination? No. Something was there. You felt it. But where did it go? You look around. The alley seems to stretch on forever, like a tunnel that never ends. Every direction you look feels wrong, out of place. You try to make your way back, but the path seems unfamiliar, as if the city itself has shifted. That's when you hear it again. The whispering, distant but unmistakable, echoing through the stillness. This time, it's not just a voice, it's a presence. Something is here. Watching. Waiting. You walk faster now, but the whispering follows you. It's like the wind itself is carrying it. You turn another corner, desperate to find your way back to a main road, to something familiar. But the streets seem different now, distorted. The buildings loom over you like dark giants, and the air feels thick with something you can't quite name. Another corner. Another alley. It's the same. It's the same street. You turn in a panic, you're breathing ragged. You've been here before, haven't you? Or, no, it's not possible. You can't remember. The city, this part of Tokyo, isn't supposed to look like this. You try to retrace your steps, but it feels as if the streets are changing around you, twisting in on themselves. That's when you realize something is following you. A figure, but not the same figure as before. This one is different. Smaller. Darker. Its face is obscured, but you can feel its eyes. It doesn't walk. It floats, gliding through the air as if it were weightless, but it's not moving in a way that feels natural. You stop dead in your tracks, heart hammering. You can't look away. It's coming closer. You want to run, but your body is frozen once more. You feel an icy breath on the back of your neck, and the whispers return, now clearer than before. The voice is cold, like ice. You can't escape. You look around, frantic. You can hear your own breath, shallow and uneven. You start walking, then running. The figure follows, keeping pace, its steps never faltering. The whispering doesn't stop. You cannot leave this place. This city, it's ours. A light flickers at the end of the alley. It's a street lamp, but the light is dim and unsteady. You sprint towards it, hoping for something, anything to break the suffocating silence, to stop the figure from closing in on you. But when you reach the light, the alley is empty again. The figure is gone. You breathe a sigh of relief, but it's short-lived. Because you realize something, wherever you are now, it isn't the Tokyo you knew. The city has changed. It's darker, colder, and alive with things that don't belong. And no matter how hard you run, it's as if you're not meant to leave. Something is waiting for you. Something in the shadows.